The government shutdown now in its 39th day, causing major disruptions in air travel. So far this weekend at PDX alone, more than 24 flights have already been canceled. Thank you so much for joining us for Katu News at 11 on your Saturday, everybody. I'm Barry Mangold. A lot to get to tonight. More than 2,500 flights have been canceled across the country so far this weekend after the FAA directed airlines to cut 10% of flights in the next week, with more reductions on the way if the government shutdown continues. The big question for so many of us now is, will the shutdown impact your Thanksgiving plans? K2's Jennifer Singh joins us live from PDX after asking an expert what we can do now to prepare for the holiday travel rush. Jen.
Well, yeah, Barry, I first want to note it was actually pretty smooth sailing at PDX here tonight. Still is. Now, granted, it is late, but this is also good to note if you are traveling within the next couple weeks. Right now, general boarding sits at just 6 minutes, so pretty smooth. But if you take a look over here, we are already seeing one cancellation marked for tomorrow. That is a flight coming into PDX from New York. And we are expecting cancellations to more than double by Friday. And with less than 3 weeks until Thanksgiving, travel experts are warning the impacts could extend into the holiday.
I would definitely not plan anything from here out until everything got smoothed out, Could be stuck in the airport for hours and, who knows.
Air traffic controllers, TSA agents, and other federal employees have now gone without pay for more than a month. Staffing shortages now reaching a level aviation experts say they haven't seen since 9/11.
Other than that, there's never been the kind of scaled cutback that we're seeing today.
In an emergency order this week, the FAA said staffing shortages are driving fatigue and increasing risk. The administration ordering 40 major airports, including PDX, to cut back domestic flights by 10% by November 14th.
It is incompatible, essentially, to have a shutdown in government going on this long and to maintain an air traffic control system.
Aviation analyst John Nance says the FAA's decision to scale back operations is the responsible move to keep staff and flyers safe. But he says if the government doesn't open back up soon, travelers should prepare for the long haul.
If it continues, it's going to be a situation where I would recommend, if you can drive, do so.
Even if the government does open back up before the Thanksgiving rush, staffing issues won't just go away.
It's not like turning on a switch. It'll take a week or two to unravel all the things that have been messed up. And the FAA is not going to open up the spigot until the airlines and the FAA agree that they can keep it smooth.
In the meantime, if you do plan on traveling in the coming weeks, the most important things Nance says to have right now is patience and maybe a backup plan.
Hopefully everything's back to normal and everyone's getting paid and I got a flight back to work by Monday.
Now, Nance did emphasize it is safe to fly largely because of that emergency order. But before I go, I do want to point out there are these donation boxes that have been set out from the Port of Portland, I'm told. This is where people can come by and drop off any non-perishable food items, gift cards, or household items that will be donated to federal workers at the airport as the government shutdown continues and they continue to show up to serve travelers. Live at PDX tonight, Jennifer Singh, K2 News.
Serving travelers without pay as well. Jennifer, thank you for that. And again, there has already been more than 24 cancellations at the Portland International Airport this weekend. Today, airlines delayed 32 flights and canceled 16 others. And already for tomorrow, 2 flights have been delayed. Another 18 have been canceled. So if you have plans to fly anytime soon, we are on your side with steps that you can take now to prepare. Make sure that you have your airline's app on your phone to check for any changes that happen or to rebook your flight if your original gets canceled. Check your airline's website for any update about flight changes, or some have information online about how they are going to be contacting passengers if there are any changes. Also, if you plan to travel for Thanksgiving, experts say booking your ticket early could protect your trip. And if you do fly, experts recommend packing light so you don't have to check a bag and showing up early to get through security.